Hello and welcome to the series 100 Days of AWS, and today is day 15 of this series where I'm going to talk about tiered architecture and databases. So in today's video we are going to understand the 3-tier architecture or N-tier architecture. We are going to see what are the types of databases, what are the databases available in AWS, and then we are going to create a database in AWS with Amazon Lightsail and attach it to our instance. So this is day 15, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so that you are notified for the new videos, and you can also join the community in Discord where I'm posting about these videos. So let's get started. So till now we have created a server which is basically a LAMP stack. LAMP means Linux, Apache, MySQL and PHP, where Linux is our operating system, Apache is the web server, MySQL is the database, and PHP is the server-side programming language. With this LAMP stack, we did a lot of things. We created our server instance, we deployed CDN or distribution. We also saw how to book the domain name and map it with the instance. So this is good for a single server website. But what if we want to scale it more? So we saw we can use load balancer to scale it, but there is a problem in this architecture. You see, if you are scaling your server with LAMP stacks, every server will have its own database. Now the data in this database would be not consistent, and in case if you implement some sort of replication also, it would take time for it to replicate, which would reduce the capabilities and bring some challenges in this design. So this architecture is stopping scalability. So we need to split it up, and that's what tiered architecture is. So with tiered architecture, you are actually splitting your logics into different tiers. The first one is the presentation tier. The presentation tier is basically how users interact with your application, and it can be different. It can be a browser based, it can be a mobile app, it can be a large language model. Whatever or however your users are interacting with your application, that is called the presentation tier. So it actually is about how users are interacting with your application. The second is the application tier, where your actual application logic fits. It helps in deploying the presentation tier and customizing the requirement based on the type of presentation tier. It also talks to the data tier and retrieves the data from the databases. So the data tier is where your data is kept and stored, and all the processing on the data is done on the data tier. So this is the tiered architecture. Now, if we go to containers, we can split it more into services, and we'll see when we are working with containers in our upcoming videos. Now, what are the advantages? So basically the advantages, if you use this modular approach, you will improve scalability and reusability. There would be a distinct separation, so each layer can be developed, maintained and scaled independently, and it also enhances security by enforcing separation of concerns. And when we are going to see VPCs in EC2, we are going to check out how you can improve the security of your complete application design by implementing secured VPC layer or tiered architecture, by implementing this tiered approach. So with tiered approach, what we are going to do, we are going to split up our DB cluster and have the data tier separated so that our servers are free and we can scale them horizontally and effectively use the load balancer. Now that's where the databases in Amazon comes handy. Now let us see what are the types of databases. So the types of databases that we have, and these are the popular ones, we have more of them, are RDM, relational database, or RDBMS, which is actually how we store our data into various tables and then we connect them, and mostly we use SQL to query this data. So for example, it is MySQL. Then you have NoSQL based databases, which are designed to handle unstructured or semi-structured data. One of the popular example is MongoDB. Then you have columnar data, which is effective for big data, where you store the data in columns rather than rows. So an example is Google BigQuery. And then you have graph databases, which essentially is used to connect data with complex relationships. And example is Neo4j. So these are the type of databases, and we have the following databases available in Amazon. The most famous one are RDS Aurora. So RDS has different type of databases. DynamoDB is a NoSQL database, and then DocumentDB is also or NoSQL based database. So these are the types of databases. However, right now we are going to only use Lightsail and create a database with Lightsail and see how we can attach it to our instance. So let's create the database, and to create a database I will go to the database section, and I can see these are all the options. So, and you can just specify what is the type of database. For example, I've selected MySQL and the version is 8.0.3.2. I can specify the username and you can customize it. So you can use the default username that has been specified, or you can also customize the password as well. And then you can click on create database. So this is how you can create a database. It's very simple process. Keep in mind it will cost you heavily if you are creating databases and not utilizing it. So I would recommend, until unless you really require it, you don't create a database in your account. So it will take some time, and I will pause the video and restart when the database is up. Alright, my database is up and you can see the details here. You have the password, you have an endpoint, and you have a port number. And I can go to my terminal and I can update my WP config file so that to utilize the updated database that I have created. And you can see there are these definitions, for example, DB host. So I can just change the endpoint here. I can use the password that has been created. So this is a different database that I showed you how to create, and I will just copy this password from here and paste it here. And I had created a custom user, master user here. So I will replace the DB user as well. I will save the file and I will go to my website and try to refresh it. And you can see there would be an error to connect the database. This is because I haven't created a database inside my MySQL. So I'll go to my MySQL and create a database there. So you have to use this command, mysql-u, that is the username, and -h, which means the host. You need to use capital P for port number and -p to specify the password. And you can use the generated password to log into your MySQL database that you have created using Lightsail. So once you log in, you can create the database by typing the command. So first I'm checking show databases, and then you can create the database by typing the command create database. And for us, the database name is WordPress. So I will just create a database with name WordPress here. And then if I exit from here and refresh my website, you can see it will start the installation and I can install the website. Now, in case you have already created a website and you need to migrate it, then you need to migrate the complete schema as well as data from your previous database to the new database. And that is some advanced topic. I will not be covering that here, but this is how you can use RDS-based instance, RDS-based database to attach it to your Lightsail instance. So I will install WordPress using the updated credential and I will log into my WordPress website. And then you can use this website as normal. You can check the logs and history here in the logs and history tab. I'm just showing the databases that we have created using WordPress, and you can use the database WordPress. And then you can see all the tables. And you can select star from WP users. That will show you the admin user that we have. So you can see there, this is the metrics graph, and you can also create some alarms, as I've already talked about this before. You can have networking here, you can also have snapshots created, and then you can also have emergency restore, and then you can specify some of the tags for better use cases. Now I'm going to delete this database because I'm not going to use it. I would make sure that it is not lying there and costing money for me. So go ahead and try it out. And in case you have any queries or questions, you can ask me in the comment box or reach out to me on Discord. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow with a new video in this series, 100 Days of AWS.